Hi, my name is Jay Little. I'm a student from Nevada State University, and I'm here to present the findings of my study, Mapping Creativity, a study of writing in multi-animator projects. To start out, a multi-animator project is a collaborative video where people volunteer to animate for a section of audio, which is then combined with animated sections done by other people into one final, complete video. This is my emotional support guinea pig, Mia. She is here to emotionally support me while I record this, because I'm very excited about this topic and have had a hard time recording this video because of that excitement. Since I want to make a good impression. This is something that I care a lot about, since it's something that I've known about for many years now and participated in, and it's a community that I've been a part of, and I see how much effort goes into creating these videos, and I want to do that effort justice in introducing it to the field of writing studies, because there are pages and pages of scripts and character designs and storyboards, and so much love and effort goes into these, and it's something that I think is very valuable, especially within the field of writing studies, because it's a way that people are choosing to engage in writing. And I think that that's something that's really cool. So, I analyzed 257 map call videos to determine whether they included certain features, and then analyzed that data to identify common trends. So there were no more than 50 videos analyzed per year. Each video had its title, link, and the host channel recorded. And then if you look at the table at the bottom of my poster, you can see the other features that I analyzed in the video. It was a lot of information. And so because it was a lot of information, I can't show all of it on this poster, which is why there's the QR code there, including all of the graphs that I created with the data that I collected from my research. I decided to highlight a couple that I thought were especially interesting, in particular to educators, because they highlight what tools people are using and how they go about organizing these projects. And as educators and as people in the field of writing studies, that information is valuable to us since it allows us to see what tools people are familiar with and implement more of them within our own work. So, one thing that I found interesting is that from the years 2019 through 2022, I hit that limit of 50 videos per year, every single year. And the further back in time I went, the harder it was to find more map calls to analyze. Part of the reason that I believe this is that the videos tend to get deleted from map calls once the project is completed, and it's basically like no longer needed to have the map call there because they're not calling for new animators. The project is already complete. So because of that, and just because media gets lost with time, it was hard to find videos from older dates. Most of the project that I analyzed were in progress, and second most common state of being was that they were completed. Yeah, it's something that can sometimes take years to get completed. Sometimes they get done very quickly. It really just depends because, again, this is all volunteer work. And so, life happens and it can sometimes take a long time for these to really get completed. So, I noticed that the application method that was most common was via YouTube comments, but that has actually decreased in popularity in recent years. And I believe the reason for that is that YouTube is sometimes unreliable when you post a comment. For example, I have seen instances where comments have not shown up, even though somebody said that they posted a comment and it showed up in their screenshot. It didn't show up for me. And so Google Forms and Discord have been other methods of application for these projects that have increased in usage in recent years as the usage in YouTube comments to apply has gone down. Something that was also interesting to note was that when these projects are organized, they tend to have certain sets of rules for the animators to follow. And there were some common characteristics that appeared in these different sets of rules. For example, you have code words, which are similar to, like in a syllabus when you have a little comment that's like, hey, if you send me like a photo of an otter, I'll give you like 10 extra credit points or something. A code word forms a similar purpose in that it shows that you've actually read through the rules and found this little code somewhere in there. We also had backups present in a lot of projects. These are people who volunteer to take over animating for a certain part if somebody has to drop out of the project, which again, these are volunteer works, so people drop out fairly frequently because life happens, and sometimes you just can't get it done. Work in progress checks were also fairly common to see, but within less than 50% of the videos that I analyzed. Still fairly common though, and this is just like proof that you're working on it essentially. With Google tool usage, I thought it was really interesting because YouTube is actually a Google-owned service, and in recent years, Google Docs has been used increasingly, The usage rates for others has kind of ebbed and flowed over the years, but in general, Google Docs is used fairly often along with other Google tools. And Discord server usage has increased significantly in recent years to help organize the projects. DeviantArt links were also typically used more in older videos to provide references and rules, but the links are used less in modern days. Maps offer a form of engagement with writing that young people are choosing to participate in and use as a medium to share information with each other or raise awareness about social issues. I've seen some projects that, for example, have been meant to raise awareness about pollution by showing the effects of pollution on the environment. Or I've seen other projects that are meant to raise awareness about other issues in the world, like one that used the colors of the Palestinian flag for the background of the project to raise awareness about the situation happening in Gaza. It's just really interesting to see what people do with these sorts of things, and if I were to be able to do more research, that's something that I would love to look into more to see how they're communicating with these things. But in terms of if you had to have one takeaway from my research as an educator in this moment, it would be that Google tools are fairly popular among this population. Code words are pretty common, and Discord servers are being used a lot. So those are good things to keep in mind as an educator when you're planning your classes and communicating with students. Thank you for your time.